Hello everyone! So this video is going to be an intro to a sewing project I want to do. I'm using this as an intro because I'm hoping to make a few videos as I progress along on the project, and hopefully to use these videos as a way to keep me motivated to keep going, and I will decide whether or not to share these with others to maybe inspire you to do the same or not. So I wanted to make this video, and this video is just going to talk about the very beginning of why I'm even doing this. Why me, who has only, the last time I sewed was in high school, and I created two things, one of which was a dress that the neckline, yes, that is what this, I was going to say hemline, but that is wrong. The neckline was supposed to go straight here, and instead it is like this. So, my skills of sewing are horrible, and yet here I am, deciding to do a whole project involving hand sewing, something of which I have even less experience in. But that is me. And I'm even starting this whole entire project while I'm preparing to move across the country. Not across the country, sorry, the world! Which is, of course, so smart and wonderful because that's what it is. So you're probably interested in what the project actually is instead of this rambling nonsense I'm doing. So let's start at the beginning. So my sewing project is going to be multi-part simply because why not? Let's make it multi-part. Let me just give a little bit more background onto what and why I chose this particular project for my first ever full hand sewing thingamabobber, beyond taking an art class and having to do something, but me deciding on my own, this is what I'm going to spend my free time on. So first off, I love history. I've always been a fan of history. I've gone to school in history, like in university, taking history as a major. So I went to school for history, and I've always loved history, and I studied history, and I read history on my own. And I love fashion. Doesn't look like it. I'm the least fashionable person ever, but I do love fashion, and so you combine history and fashion together, you get some of the most beautiful gowns ever. That's my opinion, but some of the historical gowns are just amazingly beautiful, and I've always loved them, and I've always wanted to have one of my own. But I'm picky when it comes to clothes, and I have always assumed I would have to buy one or pay someone extremely large amounts of money in order to have one custom made just for me, which would seem like an outrageous expenditure for a gown that I most likely would not be wearing in my everyday life, because how often do you see people walking down the street in, let's say, a 17th century gown? Not that often, and it might make driving a car a little bit challenging. I'm sure there's people out there who've done it, but so I never decided I could do that. And then I got on YouTube the past few days on YouTube watching, because I'm trapped in China, and if you know anything of what's happening in China at this current time, considering it's March of 2020, So I'm trapped in my apartment waiting until everybody stops being sick. And that means with no Netflix, I have YouTube. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and I stumbled upon, because I'm always searching for historical things on YouTube, I stumbled upon some historical sewing and some really amazing women, and some men too, they equal, who have done some really amazing work. So I was incredibly inspired, and I wanted to just immediately create a gown, because there's always been one gown that, or one era of time, I should say, that I've always been immensely fascinated by, and wanting to own an entire outfit from this time period. So it just, watching all those videos just sparked my interest and made me want to go for it. So then I started researching, and I've decided to, I'm going to try. This is going to be wonky, weird, and hopefully amazing, and hopefully I end up with something closely resembling what I want. And I'm going to do this all while moving across to the other side of the world, because I'm moving back to America from China and resettling in. I'm going to start this whole entire project because yay me. And yay me for, just not letting inspiration leave. So, to make this video shorter, because it seems like it might be a little bit long, since I tend to talk forever and ramble away into utter nonsense and tangents, and I am doing it right now. So, basically, a time period that I've always loved, and you can blame partly on Jane Austen, and as soon as I say that name, most of you will immediately go, ah, I know. But is what's been termed as the Regency era, and I'm not entirely sure if that's an accurate catch-all thing for it, because everywhere says Regency, but I haven't done my research into that part of it, because I tend to research the weirdest things and not the important ones. So the Regency era, which means I want an entire outfit from there. So yay me. Luckily, from watching the videos and looking at the clothing and stuff, luckily for me, that time period happens to have relatively easy style of dress, and seems to be a good starting point for making historically-ish accurate clothing, or historical clothing in general, so yay. But again, I have no real previous experience hand sewing, which I'm going to have to be hand sewing because I do not own a sewing machine, and they are expensive, and I am moving across the country, and fabric and the whole supplies, I will need everything, because I currently only have a travel sewing kit for let's repair this hole in my pocket or put on a button. That's it. So it's a huge expenditure, and with little experience in sewing in general, not something I greatly want to do. So hand sewing it is. So, and you may not be able to travel around with the sewing machine, but you can always travel around with your hands. So if I learn how to hand sew, I will be able to sew anything I want, versus learning how to sew on a machine. I'm not saying that's bad. I just tend to travel around a lot, and the less things I have to pack, and move, the better. So, and sewing machines aren't that suitcase friendly. So, hands, very easy to move. So I'm going to be hand sewing an entire Regency outfit. And because this video is probably being quite long and very rambly, there's going to be a second video where I'm going to show you where I'm drawing my inspiration from and the actual first step of this multi-step project, because there are many pieces to making an entire outfit, especially when one has no skills and therefore needs to gain skills first before attempting much more difficult things such as the actual gown itself or say a jacket. Yeah. Thank you for watching the video, however crazy and rambling it is, but thank you. Maybe next time I'll be doing something instead of just talking to the camera, because that's kind of boring to watch, but yay! So yeah, now let me officially end this here like I said I would. So I will see you in the next video, because that is the video showing you my inspiration. So yeah, I will see you then. Bye.